It's just simple communication. But before a date, who's supposed to confirm? When are you supposed to confirm? Mo's got an example of one date that blew up because they just couldn't communicate.
I thought this was interesting after seeing it go viral on Brooke_Lynn1's X account because I've been here. I remember a time back in the day when a date got canceled because we had a little communication issue, which I didn't think was that big of a deal, but turns out it was. And I hear a lot of people going through this as they date today. Who is supposed to confirm the date? Should the date have to be confirmed? And I think this is a perfect example of how two sides can see it very differently. So I'm going to tell you guys this text conversation that happened, and you guys can tell me which side do you favor and why this date ended up being canceled. So the first person says, the very first text is, let's definitely try it. How does 7:30 sound? Right? Mm-hmm. The other person says, perfect. I'll meet you there. Smiley face. Okay? So that's the end of that day.
Okay.
That's how they wrapped up that day.
They're meeting somewhere the next day at 7:30.
All right. So just to establish again, this isn't the day of the date. This is the day before the date.
Right. So they're setting the date up to be tomorrow.
Okay.
The person says, how does 7:30 sound? The person responds, perfect. I will meet you there. Now you follow up to the next day. This is the next day. The first text that comes in is at 7:21 p.m., right? Because they set the date for 7:30. So the same person who said how does 7:30 sound the day before says, hello, exclamation point. I will probably be about 5 minutes late.
That's a courtesy text. That's nice.
All right. And this is at what time now?
This is at 7:21.
Okay. And they're supposed to meet at 7:30.
7:30.
No
right?
communication between the day before and now.
Exactly.
Got it.
So then the person responds to that and says, oh no, you needed to confirm this morning. I thought it wasn't happening. So I am not there. We will have to reschedule. Crying face. And then the person responds, oh, wow, ha ha. But the oh, wow, ha ha was, why would you tell me that now? I'm already on my way there.
Right.
So that was the end of it. And it turns out they confirmed that the date ended up being canceled and both parties maturely agreed to go separate ways because they felt like they were going to have miscommunication issues.
Yeah.
But that sparked a huge debate online of which person was wrong. Was the person wrong for not confirming that the date was still on?
The date was already confirmed.
That's how I feel.
Okay, so no, I don't. I guess I'm old school here. So if we got something lined up for 7:30 that night, I'm confirming sometime during the day going, hey, still cool at 7:30, right?
See, for me, if I say we on for 7:30 and you say perfect, I'll see you there.
Yeah.
That's the confirmation.
It was the day before.
Right.
It's literally less or 24 hours prior. Like how many confirmations do you need, man?
Yeah, I guess just out of, I don't know. I would just somehow in the morning or sometime in the afternoon, just drop a quick text just going, we're still cool for 7:30, right?
Or looking forward to seeing you tonight.
But if you don't do it, that doesn't mean that the date is off either.
See, that's I guess where the confusion comes in because a lot of women are in the comments saying if I agree to go on a date with you the day before, 2 days, whatever day, and it's not the day of, and you don't text me at some point during that day in the morning, in the afternoon, and say, hey, just want to let you know we're still on, I'm not showing up to that date.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way.
All right, Abby, you're in the mean streets of the dating world. Do you expect a confirmation text the day of the date?
There needs to be a confirmation at some point within the vicinity of the date. It doesn't necessarily have to be the day of. My perfect scenario is the day before you say, hey, or even 2 days before, hey, are we good for blah, blah, blah at blah, blah, blah. And then about an hour or two before the date, he says something like, looking forward to it, see you in a couple hours. Just to kind of like touch base. But at the same time, like if he hadn't sent me that text, like I would still be showing up to the restaurant because you still confirmed it. Like you're not bailing on me.
So you don't assume that the date is canceled simply because you haven't heard from the other person on that particular day.
Especially if it's the day before. Like that's just ridiculous. She didn't want to go on that date. She was looking for a way out.
Maybe that was it.
That might have been the answer.
What was the basic consensus on it? Was it split right down the middle?
It was pretty much split right down. I think more women felt like the confirmation should happen, where it seems like more men felt like the confirmation already happened.
Okay.
The Bert Show.